I'm going to take you through a concept that will change the way you think about money and plan your finances and your life in 2025 so that you actually achieve a life standard of living that you enjoy on a day-to-day basis, because that's what it's all about. It's about having freedom to do what you want, where you want, with who you want, at any time you want, and how to avoid the common pitfalls and traps of modern society in a concept I called renting the dream life, which might sound like a bad thing to you from the start, but I'm going to explain to you why this is one of the best business concepts that I ever learned that actually allowed me to break free and go and build my own dream life in Thailand and break free of the 9 to 5. So first I'm going to explain the concept. If you can't buy your dream life for cash, do not buy at all. Most people are bullied by society into thinking they need to settle down early. Get on the property ladder. Now, the problem with that is that property, for starters, if it's not where you really see yourself being in the end, you are tying yourself into an agreement that's very difficult to get out of, that's actually associated with a lot of risk, with very little upside potential. You're investing in something that is a liability, is not an asset. If you know basic money management, money coming out of your pocket to pay for living expenses is not an asset. So a house that you buy to live in is not a cash flowing asset for you. Now, the problem is most people are bullied into buying their house young, buying the place that they should live. The problem with this is you are paying a lot of interest on that house. So although you may not be wasting money, as people say, wasting money on rent, you're wasting a lot of money by paying interest to a bank. The main problem with this is not even the interest or the money you're wasting. The main problem is you are tied to a location, you're tied to a sense of security to not leave your house, and you're tied to a job, or you're tied to making certain moves inside your business. You're bringing on a lot of risk that you can't leave. You're keeping yourself stuck to a certain area and a certain place in time, and that's very dangerous. And the reason why is because in order to achieve great wealth, the real dream life that you actually want, you must be able to take risks. Now, if you are having to stay in a job for security or having to do business a certain way because you need to make a certain amount of money, then you're unable to take the big risks that will allow you to win in business and buy the dream life. So what do you do? If you can't buy the dream life now for cash and you can't buy anything now because it would tie you down, what is the place that you kind of meet in the middle? And that's where we come to the concept of renting the dream life. Your life is going to rapidly expand. You don't need to settle down now. If you're focused on self-development, learning, discipline, improving yourself in every way, and you've just started playing the game, your biggest asset and tool is freedom. It's the ability that you're not tied down yet to anything in your life. And the ultimate end goal is to have complete freedom, which is kind of a paradox. You have freedom when you have nothing, and freedom when you have absolutely everything. But in the middle, you become very stuck and very not free. And so the thing I would recommend you do, and what I did in my own life, is rent the dream life for cash. First, you need to identify what is your dream life. So I sat down in my 9 to 5 3 years ago and said, okay, I'm not happy with this. What would the dream life be? I'd like to live in a foreign country. I would like to ride a motorbike. I would like to have freedom to go to the beach when I want. And I decided, using this task from Tim Ferriss in the 4-Hour Workweek, fantastic book, by the way, I wrote out exactly what I want, what I wanted to be, and what I wanted to be doing. And I put the cost of these things. This is about putting life back into your years by not dying and feeling like you left things unfulfilled. It's by going for that dream of living every day like it's your last, but doing it sensibly so you can level up in business and doing it right now rather than having to wait. So what you do is you can screenshot this or you can write it out yourself and you go through this task and you put in a certain amount of months, I dream of having these things, being this person, and doing these things. And the things that you probably only dream about doing after you've made all your money are probably far more accessible. Like if you break down a car, for an example, let's say you wanted an Aston Martin, and you broke down that car into costs, you'd be thinking, oh, I need to make $200,000 to be able to buy that car. But then when you look at it monthly, you realize you can rent that car or you can lease that car for $2,000. Okay, if I make $20,000 a month, then $2,000 on a car, that wouldn't be bad. That's a lot closer than I thought. And cars are not necessarily the best thing to go and look at. I don't think that's particularly where you should put your money, but it's just an example. So when I broke this down, I found that, okay, I want to live in Thailand. How much does that cost? What the hell? It costs less than what I'm paying for rent in the UK. And that's where I actually want to live. And how much would, if I went there and rented a motorbike, oh, that'd be $200 a month. I could do that. That's no problem. And I wrote down my dream life, exactly the way I wanted to live, what I wanted to be doing, going to the beach, doing all this stuff, exactly what it would cost, who I wanted to be. And I realized that I only needed to make $2,000, $2,500 a month to achieve that dream life. Something that most people are tricked into working their entire lives for the thing that you go and retire and go away to. When you have no energy left, no life energy, you can't enjoy things anymore. That bit at the end, they put it off for so many years when really they can have it right now. Then the question is, how do you get there? And that's where you're responsible for finding out the path to making that money online, independent income, finding that way to bring in that source of money whilst you're in another area of the world. Or maybe it's just an area inside of your own country right now, and it's a lot easier for you. But this is a very good way of thinking about things and a very easy way to manage your money and realize that the dream life, the rented dream life, is so much closer than you think. And then you get to a point where you work, you have the dream life, and it channeled me into the area of work I wanted to do. It allowed me to make more money. Going and living that dream first opened up so many opportunities for me in content and allow me to live the dream life. And then what you do is, rather than constantly renting the dream life for the rest of your life, you don't buy anything until you've bought your dream life for cash. So you don't go and buy a house in the UK, or you don't go and buy something in a place where you don't want to live and tie yourself there to a job you don't like. You have freedom. You're living the dream life and enjoying your years as it is. So you become a lot happier, more high vibration. And then at the same time, you start to realize, okay, if I wanted to buy this life, rather than rent it, if I wanted to own it completely and have money in the bank to live out the rest of my days, how much would it cost to buy the dream life cash? Until you can buy the dream life cash, don't buy anything for personal expenses. Don't buy any of that dream life and tie yourself to a certain space. Don't buy anything that's not the dream life and tie yourself to a certain place, because you can live the dream life for far less than you think. And at the same time, be working on moves in business when you don't have that risk hanging over you, because you can leave rented stuff straight away. If you can leave it tomorrow, your expenses cut to zero. That's the kind of position you want to be in. And then you make your moves. You think, okay, I'm in this place now. If I wanted to buy this place, what would it cost me? Do I even want to buy it? Do I want to keep renting the dream life because it's made me so much more money living and doing work in this different way? Do I want to try a different dream life? And rather than getting sucked into the trap of buying into a life you don't even want to live, you decide to live your life with freedom and rent the dream life until you can buy the dream life for cash. So that's just a very simple video and a very simple task that you can do to hopefully get clarity on what you want. Start living it now, rather than having to wait until you've got all this money, because it's closer than you think, and avoid getting put in the trap of buying a life that holds you down, that you don't even want to live. So guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. If you want help with building the dream life, if you want help with scaling in business, getting around guys living this kind of life all around the world, doing 7 figures, come and join us inside the New Elite, my private network. If you need help moving to Thailand, help moving to Dubai, setting up taxes, you want to be part of a killer circle, come and join us. It'll be an absolute pleasure to bring you on board. Guys, it's been awesome, and I'll see you again tomorrow.